Hi, it's Brian McAvoy with Inside Out Trading. Today, we're going to talk about something that's really important if the uncertainty of trading has been bugging you, or you just feel you're tired of the anxiety of not knowing what the markets are going to do. And again, you have that anxiety and you're just really tired of it. This is an important matter for you to understand. Because, see, with trading, yes, there is a certain element of uncertainty to the markets, an element of uncertainty. The markets are not purely random. Otherwise, when you look at a chart, it wouldn't look like this, it would be just dots all over the place. So it's not just random stuff. There is an order to the markets because the markets are people and computer algorithms programmed by people. And so what happens is there are certain things that happen that cause people to either have confidence or fear, and so they trade accordingly. Or they're speculating, they think the price is going to go here. But again, there's an order to it. Things are happening for a reason. People and computer algorithms are driving the price up or down. And so that is your advantage. Now, the thing is, there's the element of uncertainty is, okay, we have our edge that, okay, when we see the beginning of a move or whatever, we know that it's likely to play out. If we've seen this before, we can say, yeah, I know what to expect, unless something interrupts that pattern, unless another event occurs that changes the market sentiment or the mood or whatever. That's where the uncertainty comes in. But usually once a pattern, a behavioral response in the markets initiates, now we have a little window of predictability, and that's cool. And unless something interrupts it, our edge is that it's going to play out a certain amount of the time and enough that it works for us, that the numbers work. And so that's our edge. Now, as far as the uncertainty of the markets, and here's something from my quality days that will serve you well. One of the foundational concepts in quality assurance, and quality really is success by design. It's like what quality is, we want to produce good stuff and do it on a very consistent basis, knowing that we have a good product or service or whatever it is we're doing. But one of the foundational concepts of quality assurance is consistency and a consistent process so that, again, we have a known output. The thing is, there's two sides to that coin. The first one is you got to start with consistency. You don't want to jump into this and say, no, I just want to get profitable and then I'll figure out how to be consistent. No, that's backwards. You say, I want to establish consistency first, because once I have a good consistent process, that's pretty easy to adjust and make it more profitable. But if I'm inconsistent, if I'm all over the place, that's hard to work with. So we got to start with consistency. But then the other side of the coin in practicing quality assurance is, okay, we want to establish a process so that we have a consistent reference. But then what we want to do from there is eliminate inconsistencies. And as a trader, you don't want to be a contributor to the inconsistency. You want to be a constant. The more inconsistent you are, and the more things that you're doing or holes in your process, weaknesses, functional flaws in your process, and just things that you're doing, your routines, your habits, you want to eliminate as many inconsistencies as you can. Again, so that you're a constant, and because the more variables there are, that's the more opportunities for error, the more opportunities for things to go wrong. So we want to minimize the variables. You want to become a constant as much as possible. You want your process to be a good constant. And we want to eliminate the inconsistencies. That's how you achieve consistency. You start with a consistency base, and then you eliminate inconsistencies. So as a trader, make sure that you're not contributing to the inconsistencies, or at least you want to minimize those. There's a variety of ways to do that. One of them can be just looking around your trading space. Do you have things that trigger you unnecessarily? You're listening to CNBC and you're hearing all these opinions in the background. You got some music playing that triggers memories from your teen years or whatever and affects your mood. Maybe you got your inbox sitting there with your bills in front of you and that kind of stuff. Anything that's in your trading environment that, can trigger you or trigger thoughts or emotions that might negatively bias your thinking, again, that's a variable. So you got environmental variables, you got behavioral variables, habitual variables. What you want to do is eliminate as many inconsistencies and as many variables as possible. The more constant you can become and the better a process you have, the more likely you are to achieve those consistent profits that you want. So I hope this has been helpful. If it has, share it with your friends. If there are other aspects of this and how to apply quality assurance or good business principles to be a better and more successful trader, leave me a comment down below or subscribe to my channel. There are other videos I've got on my channel. I got a whole bunch of videos covering all kinds of aspects of how to be a successful trader, how to avoid mistakes, how to avoid the heartache, how to really get on with good and profitable trading. So subscribe to my channel and share this with your friends. Again, I hope this has been helpful. Talk to you soon. Cheers.